We're at Sushiro for dinner. It's a conveyor belt sushi chain, but it's a little bit like Genki Sushi because you can order what you want on a touch screen. But it's got the conveyor belt as well, so we're not quite sure what the deal is. Here's the conveyor belt. See, some items are in a red tray and it's the katakana says order, so I think they're the items someone's ordered. So we're waiting for ours to come along. There's my dress. It tells you on the screen when yours is coming along. And you can switch the touchscreens between Japanese and English. Is that what you ordered? So that one, it's got a poppadom in it.
Yeah, you can get curry toppers something special.
That seems wrong. I've got a shochu lemon. It's got a beer. What's that one?
Tuna.
Conveyor belt sushi places are places to get cheap sushi, not necessarily the highest quality, but we thought we'd give this one a try. It's really popular. There were loads of people waiting for a table. I had to go in and go to a touch screen and kind of work out. It was all in Japanese, so I had to work out which button to press, and it gave me a receipt and she called out the number, which I just about managed to catch when the table was ready. There's a tamago. Sushi places usually have some vegetarian options as well as fish. These little mascots are cute. Look, there's a sausage roll. That just seems wrong.
It's literally a hot dog roll. I'm quite tempted by it.
Oh no, don't do it. Here's my wasabi aubergine nigiri, but boo, they put bonito fish flakes on it. It's underneath the aubergine as well. Here's my other one. It's sweet corn and potato gunkan. These are crunchy. It's like got crisps on the top. Gotta say, I wasn't a massive fan of the aubergine. It's like pickled aubergine. It was a bit chewy. Here's the nigiri.
It's all a good price.
It is actually. It's very cheap.
100 yen spot, about 70p.
Yeah. 70p each. Shrimp with basil and cheese. There are some weird menu items. There's tamago, eggplant wasabi, that's one I got. Gunkan, tuna, shrimp, crab, shellfish. Salad and others. Where was that?
I don't know, but someone ordered it. Oh, you ordered it?
Yes. Forgot about that one. Here it comes. Oh, all my orders were arriving. I ordered something else as well. Here's my cucumber roll. It's hard to keep track of all this. They've also got some ramen and udon noodles. And desserts. It's quite a lot of desserts and they do look good. I want to try these Japanese sweet potato.
Some pumpkin tempura?
I ordered that too.
Oh, okay.
Here's my pumpkin tempura. You get more bits than I thought I would. You get green tea on the table, and I think it's free anyway. And they've got hot water on tap here. There we are. So you've got ginger, soy sauce. I'm not sure what the other one is. Google translate that later. Something dare. These kapamaki give me a problem because they're more than one mouthful. Here's my inari sushi. It's got ume, that's pickled plum. Here's the inside of the inari sushi. It doesn't taste very strongly of pickled plum actually. I do want to try an onigiri with pickled plum inside because I had some seasoning for rice that has plum flavour and I really like it, so I want to look out for one of them.
Gourmet piece of tuna something.
Why is it gourmet?
I don't know. It's more expensive.
I've ordered some Japanese sweet potatoes. I've heard of them before but never tried them. Oh, here they are. Yeah, they're sweet potatoes that people have when they're at college, and that's why they're called college potatoes or daigaku potatoes. And they were on the dessert menu, which I wasn't expecting.
I didn't expect it to be cold or crunchy, but I quite like that flavour.
They're actually colder than the sushi. I think the sushi's been quite freshly made, so the rice is still a bit warm.
It's nice though.
They're really sweet on the outside. It's like actual candy sugar sweetness. I thought. I thought they were really sweet.
Definitely and taste of sweet potato for sure.
And the sweet potato is quite dry, actually. Phil just had another one that wasn't as sweet. See, I was right. I mean, that was more sweet. Look at this place on the corner. They're putting out the smoke from the barbecue. You can really smell it. I bet that makes a lot of people hungry. We're just at Sushiro. It's a conveyor belt sushi place. It's actually a chain. There's quite a few of them around Japan, and they've got a couple in Tokyo, but they're not in the centre of Tokyo. They're a little bit outside, more in kind of suburbanish areas, and that's kind of why we haven't really been to it before. With these sort of cheap sushi places like the conveyor belt ones, sushi's only about 100 yen per plate, so you don't expect it to be the best quality, but it's cheap and you can have a lot of it, which is the complete opposite of sushi in the UK, which is so expensive even at places that aren't very good.
It was significantly better than what you find at most sushi places in the UK, so you'll be paying about £3 or £4 at a lot of those places,
Yeah.
whereas it's about 70p here. So the quality is fantastic for that. It's not
for the
best,
price,
but it's it's really good, and you can have a lot. So I had about 10 plates, I had 2 beers. What did you have? About 6 plates?
Yeah, I had 6.
One drink, 6 plates. I had 10 plates and 2 drinks. So 3 drinks, 16 plates came to...
It was 3,700 yen.
What's that?
Like 25
pounds, yeah.
£25.
It's not crazy cheap, but for the amount of food, especially like in the UK, it's really good.
Yeah, it's fun to order on the screens, and it's really easy if you're a foreigner because they've got pictures of everything and it's in English as well.
The ticket machine wasn't though.
No, they didn't have an English setting on that, so we had to sort of guess what it was, and luckily I know the kanji for adult because you have to choose adults or children and say how many. So we managed to get through that.
The only difficult bit was when they called out the numbers, which I didn't have a hope of understanding.
Our number was 238. I was thinking that's Nihyaku Sanju Hachi, which I do know, but I can't recognise them quick enough, and she talked really fast when she was calling out the number. So I heard the Sanju, so I went up with a ticket and she said, yeah, that's you. Mine was okay. It wasn't the best. I ordered a few things that I didn't really like that much. But the kappamaki was alright, you can't really go wrong with that. And the pumpkin tempura, I think I was spoilt by the tempura we had yesterday at Hakata Tempura Takao, because that was really good and not greasy at all. And this one today was a little bit greasy.
Mine was good. No arguments, the fish was good. I paid extra for a few gourmet ones and a few like specials, but they tasted a bit better. You got less food for more money, but it still wasn't that bad. I think 280 yen was the most I paid, which is 250 maybe, £2.
So if you want to go to Sushiro, there are lots of branches throughout Japan. You can look it up on Google Maps really easy.
It's busy.
Yes, very busy, so you might have to wait for a little bit, but
you get the counter off the table, it seems to go faster.
It's more fun at the counter as well. Look at this very non-Japanese looking building that would look completely at home in England.
It is, yeah.
My nose looks really red. Have I caught the sun today?
Not with this scarf on.
My neck's not sunburned. Ooh, Christmas. We're just on the bridge going over to Nakasu, which is like the nightlife district of Fukuoka. This is like the picture postcard view of Fukuoka that you see in a lot of pictures. On Nakasu there's a lot of yatai, which are the temporary food stalls that come out in the evening in Fukuoka, and it's really typical of this city. People just pull them up, open up, and it's like a mini restaurant, very cozy. I think they've only got seats for like 8 or 10 people, and they serve ramen. A lot of them have oden and lots of other things that mainly aren't vegetarian, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to go to one, but we'll have a look. It'd be a good experience, definitely. Over there is Canal City, where we were yesterday. It's a big mall in Fukuoka. And over there is where we were earlier at Hakata Port. There's Hakata Port Tower all lit up. We just had a walk through Nakasu. We didn't see any yatai like I was expecting. I don't know if we've got the wrong day or if we were too early or too late, but we didn't see any. The feel of Nakasu was a lot more like a city centre feel, like I was expecting, with karaoke bars and bright lights and lots of bars and things. It was actually quite a bit like Kabukicho in Tokyo, but a lot quieter, a lot less people. We're back at the hotel now. I really enjoyed today having a walk around, seeing the seaside was really good, going up Fukuoka Tower. We had a bit of a waste of time going over to the other side, but it was good to go on a boat.
It was still quite pretty when you were over there. We just didn't do a lot. If we got there early enough to have bikes, it would have been good fun.
Yes, yeah. I'm still not sure if I really feel like I know Fukuoka. I don't really feel like I've seen the centre, even though we sort of walked through Tenjin, which I think is the main centre area. I don't really feel like we've seen it or got to know it in that way. But it has been interesting to see what the city's like. It's a lot quieter than being in Tokyo. It's a lot different to that.
It feels like a seaside town. And I know Tokyo
not
is...
like Eastbourne. No.
Tokyo is a seaside town as well, but it's more similar to when we went to Yokohama.
Yes,
than it is,
yeah, very much
Tokyo.
so.
Like, we've only been here a day. Well, a day.
Yeah, you can't know somewhere after a day.
We've been all over the place today, so yeah, there's more to see.
We've walked a lot, and I'm also really proud that we've eaten all Japanese food so far, because with me being vegetarian, it can be difficult, and sometimes it's easier to just say, oh, we'll get a burger or a pizza or whatever's the easiest option. But we've had some good food, and I was really happy I managed to tell that guy who made the yakisoba for me at lunchtime that I was vegetarian, and we had a talk about what was in the yakisoba successfully in Japanese, and he did everything he could for me, even though it turned out to have fish flakes on in the end. But we were saying they probably don't think of that as fish. It's more like putting salt and pepper or something on there than thinking this is actually fish.
Yeah.
And one last find of the day I'm going to show you. We've just been to the convenience store to get some drinks and snacks for our hotel room party, night in the hotel. And I found this. It's it is Kinoko no Yama, and the flavour is maple vanilla. I haven't seen these ones before. They have the standard ones, which are chocolate and biscuit, and then they have seasonal varieties. So there was one I really liked last time, white chocolate and caramel, which I think has gone away now, but got these to try now. That's good.
You also bought these yesterday.
Oh yeah, I'd seen these on Twitter. They're soy meat nuggets, which is really surprising, seeing as how vegetarian things are so hard to find in Japan. I can't believe they have these just at the convenience store at 7-Eleven. They were in the crisps aisle, and apparently when they first came out they were trending on Twitter because they're really disgusting and everyone was tweeting about how much they hated them. So I don't really feel like them at the moment, but I'll give them a try at some point. I'll let you know what they're like.
We walked apparently, how far today? 12 miles today.
Wow. I'm doing videos about everything I'm doing in Japan, so subscribe if you want to see the other ones. And we're going to go on some day trips around Kyushu in the next couple of days. I think tomorrow we're going to go to Beppu to do the tour of the Beppu Hells, which I'm really looking forward to, so hit subscribe if you want to see that as well.